So, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by a phone call. Years ago, when I was very sharp and I was remote viewing my optimal trajectory, I mean, I was phenomenally good, guys. I know somebody's going to sit here and watch me and go, "You're just a pompous ass," but I was so sharp. I was nailing target after when I nailed 100 targets in a row. I kid you not, no exaggeration. 100 targets. There was no ambiguity. I got valid information about every single target, 100 of them in a row. I was like, okay, there's no one. It reinforced in my mind there's no, because I think even when you go through ontological shock, and even though you know you're getting really valid information, there is that rational part of you that still wants to go, yeah, well, maybe it's kind of a lucky guess. I mean, I'm sorry, 30 of them in a row, you're really going to have trouble rationally saying, okay, it's all pure luck. I mean, it's really difficult to do that under those circumstances. 100 in a row, it's just, your rational mind can't get around it, but to deny it is utterly ridiculous. So I was super sharp and I thought, well, I'm going to be on, I hate to say this, I'm sitting there thinking, well, I'm going to be on Oprah. I'm going to be on all these talk shows. I'm going to be, I'm going to be world famous. I was phenomenal. I was unbelievable. There was nothing within human comprehension. Now, there were a few things that were very abstract in nature that I tried to remote view. And then there were a couple things that, to be blunt, were of extraterrestrial origin that I was trying to remote view. And those were very, like, whatever this technology was, it was way beyond anything I was personally capable of making any sense of. So I could kind of tell what some of it did, but I was completely lost. But anything within human comprehension, when you're super sharp, that's somewhere within your wheelhouse and your level of intelligence, you can get and you can understand. So I knew I was absolutely on fire. And so I'm like, God, I can do something almost nobody else on the planet can do. There just aren't that very many well-skilled, really skilled remote viewers. And so I put my own optimal trajectory in my blind target pool, and my optimal trajectory slash vocation, right? What I should be doing. And I thought for sure it was going to be running off, going around the country, writing books, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, right? And I thought, this is it, man. There's just no way. I'm absolutely on fire. And the data, the site template, again, I did it in the blind to make sure that my conscious mind wasn't interfering. And it was absolutely me doing what I was doing during the day anyway, taking care of my three kids. It was all about my kids. It was all about me taking care of them, doing the daily activities and things like that. And before, I want to qualify this and explain. My ex-wife, and I'm not trying to disparage her. She found staying at home, taking care of the kids really depressing. It really seemed to have a very negative psychological effect on her, and she really struggled to do it. She was much happier working outside the home. I thought that wasn't going to be the case. I mean, there were things she didn't like about working outside the home, like not being as close to the kids. But I thought this was going to be like a 6-month phenomenon. I was the stay-at-home dad because I just was not going to let my kids suffer, and I wasn't going to have somebody else raising them spending the vast majority of their time or being in daycare. So I was the stay-at-home dad for 6.5 years. And when I did that blind remote viewing session, it was all about me taking care of my kids. And I was so on track. I was so on fire. I knew damn well that was the answer. That was the truth. That was my optimal vocation. And I thought about it and I went, this makes sense, because if I were to pull away, if I were to do something or try to, I might be able to go make money. I certainly would be able to make a huge impact. I'd be able to show people on camera with the lights and all the crazy stuff going on and a bunch of pressure and distractions. And I would still nail target after target. I was that good, which is not easy for remote viewers to do. It's one thing to remote view accurately by yourself. It's another when, you've got, I don't know if any of you have ever done any filming, but damn, they've got those bright lights. Sometimes they're super hot. They've got all kinds of equipment around you. There's all kinds of people around you. That's challenging to do. I was sharp enough where I absolutely could have done it under the circumstances. But my optimal trajectory, clearly, now this is what I've been able to discern. Little kids don't have an optimal trajectory. Their optimal trajectory is your optimal trajectory, especially if you're the caregiver. And it was crystal clear to me with the results that there was no way I would be able to go do any of the things I wanted to do that would be optimal for my kids. None of it. All of it was suboptimal. All of it would hurt them. There would all be some kind of sacrifice. Something would go sideways. I might be satisfied, but my kids would pay the price. It was crystal clear with the session. And so even though I was really mad because I was so unbelievably good, I mean, I was in my office, I threw a couple things. I smashed a couple things against the wall. The bottom line here is, though, I knew that was the answer. It was accurate. So I bit back on my ambition and I said, yes, I can do something phenomenal. Yes, I would love to go prove it. I would love to be on camera. I would love to be making a big impact and show people what human potential is. And my kids will pay a price that I am not willing to make them pay. So I didn't. So we need to keep in mind that sometimes our optimal trajectories are not exactly what we're or our optimal vocation specifically is not exactly what we're intending to do. Now, I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't change anything. But I just want to keep in mind, if you're looking at your optimal vocation, it might be something that is not on the top of the money-making list. So just realize when you develop that skill, that's the case. Now, if there is something that's amazingly fabulous at some corporation or job or a freelance gig or some type of consulting, or you're going to get a solid answer and you will have a very, very solid, you might have to do maybe a couple sessions to figure out a really good strategy. Maybe if you don't get enough clarification, but you're going to get good data. You're going to get good data about exactly what you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that is the answer. I hope this helps. Again, I don't want to make it sound like remote viewing is going to solve all of your problems. We still live, it's tough. We got to make sacrifices here in the world, and everything isn't all sunshine and rainbows. But you can definitely make your life a lot better and be doing what you're supposed to be doing here. So with that, I bid you farewell.